Stop trying to change your life. Seriously, stop. Because here's what nobody tells you. That massive transformation you're chasing, it's a lie. The person who wakes up at 5 a.m., crushes a workout, meditates for an hour, builds a business, and still has time for family dinners, they didn't start there. They started exactly where you are right now, scrolling at midnight, hitting snooze 5 times, feeling like they're watching their own life pass by through a screen. But they discovered something that weaponized their laziness into rocket fuel. And it starts with getting worse at trying so hard. 2 years ago, I was a ghost haunting my own existence. Morning routine: wake up, panic, phone, scroll, repeat until the shame of being late forced me vertical. I'd stumble through work in a fog, come home already defeated, and then the real addiction started. Order something greasy, open Netflix, promise myself just 1 episode. Suddenly it's 1 a.m., I'm 3 seasons deep into a show I don't even like, and tomorrow's alarm is in 4 hours. Every single day. Here's what scared me most. I wasn't depressed. I wasn't lazy. I was comfortable. Comfortable being disappointed in myself. Comfortable choosing the easy poison over the hard medicine. Comfortable voting for the worst version of myself every single day. Because that's what your habits are, a democracy where you're the only voter. Every time you hit snooze, you're electing someone who runs from challenges. Every time you grab your phone before your thoughts, you're choosing someone who lives in other people's highlight reels instead of their own reality. Every time you say, "I'll start Monday," you're voting for someone who will still be saying that same sentence 5 years from now. The question isn't whether you can change overnight. You can't. The question is, who are you electing with your next 5 minutes? Then I found something that shattered everything I thought I knew about change. If you improve by just 1% every day for a year, you don't get 365% better. You get 3,700% better. That's the mathematics of compound growth applied to your actual life. But here's the part that'll mess with your head. It's not about the math. It's about identity theft. Except you're stealing your future self's identity and bringing it into today. One micro action at a time. I started with something so small it felt stupid. I moved my phone charger to the bathroom. That's it. No meditation app. Number 5 a.m. club. Just phone goes there instead of here. First morning, I woke up and my hand reached for the dopamine machine. Nothing. Just silence. Just me and my actual thoughts. For the first time in years, I heard myself think before I heard everyone else's opinions. That 30-second change created a crack in my identity. And through that crack, light started bleeding in. Next, glass of water by the bed. When I woke up, instead of scrolling, I drank. My body got hydration. My brain got a pattern interrupt. I went from, I'm someone who needs everyone else's content to wake up, to, I'm someone who takes care of myself first. 0 willpower required. 2 minutes total. But I was voting differently now. Week 1, just those 2 changes. No pressure, no perfection, just showing up 1% better than yesterday. Then something bizarre happened. Because I wasn't diving into the digital chaos immediately, I started noticing how I actually felt. Because I was hydrating, I started craving better choices. Small wins don't just stack, they multiply. Your brain goes, "Oh, we're competent now? Cool, let's be more competent." I added making my bed. Not because made beds change the world, but because it's the first vote of the day. Before breakfast, I'd already completed something. I'd already chosen someone who finishes what they start over someone who leaves things undone. 3 changes, maybe 90 seconds combined. But my morning identity had shifted from reactive chaos to intentional calm. And here's where it gets wild. Success is contagious, especially when you're infecting yourself. Mornings were working, so I attacked evenings with the same microscopic precision. I created a digital sunset alarm for 9 p.m. When it rings, screens die. Not forever, just for 1 hour. Just enough for my brain to remember it's not a content consumption machine. Laid out tomorrow's clothes. 30 seconds. But tomorrow morning, I'm voting for prepared instead of scrambling. Wrote down 3 things that went well. not a gratitude journal with prompts and inspirational quotes. Just 3 good things. This rewired my brain to hunt for wins instead of obsessing over failures. After 1 month of these ridiculous micro changes, I looked up and my life was different. Not because of one dramatic transformation, because of hundreds of tiny votes that compounded into someone I barely recognized. My body had more energy because I wasn't poisoning my attention first thing. My room stayed cleaner because making the bed made me want to maintain the space. I wasn't forcing these changes. They were choosing me because I'd already become someone they belonged to. So I took it to work. Started each day writing 3 most important tasks. Not a 47-item to-do list of busy work. 3 things that matter. This took 120 seconds, but shifted me from busy to effective. Checked email at 3 specific times only. 9 a.m., 1 p.m. for p.m. This freed up hours of mental bandwidth I didn't know I was hemorrhaging. Took 5-minute walks between major tasks. Not a 30-minute workout. 5 minutes. Moving my body, clearing my head, resetting my focus. Then something I never expected, getting 1% better in my routines made me 1% better in my relationships. Because I was less stressed, I had more patience. Because I was sleeping better, I was more fun to be around. Because I was taking care of myself, I had energy to invest in others. I started asking one genuine question in conversations instead of waiting for my turn to talk. Sent 1 thoughtful text per week to people I cared about. Small, consistent investments compound in relationships just like everything else. People started responding differently because I was showing up differently, 1% at a time. Let me cut through the highlight reel for a second. This wasn't some perfect upward graph. Some mornings I slept through everything. Some nights I disappeared into the Netflix void until 2 a.m. Some days, other people's emergencies hijacked my entire plan. But here's what 1% taught me that no motivational guru ever mentions. Progress isn't about perfection. It's about getting back on track faster. I stopped thinking, I messed up. Might as well restart Monday. I started thinking, I missed today. I'll vote better tomorrow. The goal isn't to never fail. It's to fail better. Shorter setbacks, quicker comebacks. Treating missed days as data, not drama. 1 terrible meal doesn't make you unhealthy. 1 lazy morning doesn't make you undisciplined. 1 unproductive day doesn't make you a failure. But the story you tell yourself about that one day, that can destroy everything. Bad days don't erase good days unless you let them. The votes still count. The compound growth still works. You just need 1 more vote in the right direction to swing the election back toward the person you're becoming. 6 months in, I look back at the person I was and couldn't find him anymore. Mornings, from chaotic panic to peaceful ritual. Workdays, from scattered stress to focused flow. Evenings, from mindless consumption to intentional restoration. Relationships, from surface-level noise to meaningful connection. But the biggest shift wasn't external. I'd gone from seeing myself as someone who struggled with discipline to someone who was naturally organized. From someone always behind to someone who prepared. From someone who hoped for the best to someone who created the best. Not through willpower, not through motivation, through identity theft. I stole my future self's habits and brought them into today. 1 ridiculous micro-improvement at a time. And those tiny votes compounded into a completely different person. So here's where you make a choice. You can close this video and go back to hoping things will magically improve. Or you can do something so small it feels almost insulting to call it progress. Pick 1 area that feels stuck. Identify the smallest possible improvement. Not the most impressive, the most sustainable. 1 exercise? Don't commit to the gym. Commit to putting on workout clothes. Want to read? Don't commit to a book per week. Commit to 1 page. Want to eat better? Don't overhaul everything. Commit to 1 glass of water before each meal. Start so small it feels silly not to do it. That's how you know you found your 1%. Here's my promise. If you get 1% better every day for 90 days, you won't recognize your life. The person you are right now is the sum of every 1% choice you've made until this moment. The person you'll be in 1 year is the sum of every 1% choice you make starting right now. Which version are you voting for? Because in 5 minutes, you'll make another choice. In an hour, another vote. In 24 hours, another election. And every single one counts. You don't need to be perfect. You just need to be 1% better. And that revolution starts the second you decide it does. The polls are open. Cast your vote.